Everybody, it's Teepa. Today I thought I'd go over, it's been a while, the difference between a typical gait belt that is used all too often in facilities with people living with dementia, or in home care, people living with dementia, or in hospitals, people living with dementia, and what I believe is a better option. So let me show you the typical gait belt phenomenon. So it is approximately, maybe 2 inches wide. It is made out of seatbelt or actually woven material. It has teeth and it bites down on the gait belt. And what you do is you put it around somebody's waist, quote unquote waist, and you're going to put it in a position where what happens is you go through and you get it through the teeth, and the teeth are facing away from the person. You pull it taut so it fits around the waist. And then what you do is you take the end of it and you put it through the other metal part. And then you pull it taut. And the goal is to have it so tight that you can put a couple of fingers in there, but that's it. Now, here's the thing, it's on my waist. Okay. And here's my waist, really right there. And then here are my hips, and here's my lower rib cage. So when you get it there, the waist is incredibly mobile. And here's the deal, when you start bringing this up, it's going to ride up if you're creating tension to get me to move forward or to get me to move up. So if you make it tighter, however, I mean, you can snug it, but we're still doing this kind of movement where we're pulling up on it and it comes up. There's just no way around it. And when you're walking with somebody, you can stabilize them with the gait belt by having your hands in the sides, or having your hands on the person's on the gait belt, which is usually what folks do. But what this doesn't really recognize is this actually comes up and gets up. I mean, this can get up here pretty tight if I start to go down and you're trying to keep me up by using the gait belt alone. So that's sort of the standard gait belt, and I do not recommend it. I have seen too many injuries. I've seen too many situations where it's super uncomfortable for the person living with dementia. And now we have this gait belt on that is actually not that easy to get on and off. Somebody has to lean forward and we have to get it in position. So I'd rather use something that's more comfortable and also gives me better coverage on the torso, on the body, and is going to be padded. So this is a padded belt. And what it has is it has actually hand holds on the outside, and there are multiple handholds so that you can, in fact, position and hold. So let me put this one on. It goes on in a similar fashion, but a little bit different. So what happens here is this. I know it's dark and it's hard to see a little bit, but this is a plastic, like a snap that you would have on a seatbelt. But what happens is this goes through this slat. It's sort of like where the handles are, quote unquote, to assist. You go through that one. And if you want to go through a second one, you fit it to size, and they do come in different sizes, just like the gait belts. And then over on this side, we have the other end. Obviously, someone a bit smaller than me was in here before. We have this, and between me and this 2-inch strap, there is 6 inches height of padding. So now when you go to move me, you are more likely to actually center this under my rib cage and at my hips, so that when you go to do a movement with me, it's less likely to ride up. You have different hand holding positions so that you're actually able to, and it distributes my weight, my situation. And so when you do this, it is much more likely that it's not going to be as uncomfortable for the person who is being assisted. Now, hopefully you're just stabilizing while they're moving, but in fact, if you have to support them, if they have a fall or start to fall, you do a controlled lowering. It allows you to control the body a whole lot easier without risking that something could hurt them. Now, there is a third device out there. These are all, freestanding kind of things. It's this. So you put this on someone when they're seated, and you have to get it under their bum and get it between their legs. And then what you would do is you pick them up and move them this way. So this is for someone who's more impaired. I tend not to use this because once I get this in place, I have to get it out of place, or else I'm leaving it in place after they're seated in a new seating system or sat down to eat or whatever. And I wonder about that. So for me, the device that makes the most sense is one that is padded, one that is 6 inches wide, and one that allows me to distribute the tension or the pressure that across a larger portion. And it's pretty comfortable. So we have other videos where we show it in use, but it came up recently in a question like, what do you think about gait belts? And it's like, well, it depends on. This is actually called a transfer belt, and the other one is a quote unquote gait belt, though it's more likely to be used for mobility more than just gait work in general. So this is a quick one. I hope it's helpful. We do have videos showing how to use the gait belt and the transfer belt. But I thought for just a minute, just give you the information. Hopefully you find it helpful. If you're in a place where you might be assisting somebody with mobility who needs physical assist or maybe guidance. All right, everybody, till next time, take care of yourselves, take care with your care. If you have questions about equipment like this, let us know. Because after 40 plus years, I have some exposure to different kinds of things. And I've been around a lot of different community settings, institutional settings. And sometimes things make a difference.